Because realistic happiness is based off what's called the happiness baseline. You're going to have moments where it's going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. That's realistic. Okay? I travel the nation and I give people, a lot of times for like a full week seminar, I give them homework. This is one that I commonly give. This is I gave to kids. I asked the children to name 5 things that they love. Okay, here's one that I thought was hilarious. I want to share with you guys. This kid said, number 1, 5 things I love. Number 1, mommy cooks my brother and me yummy food so I don't die. Number 2, I have a puppy named Dog. It's an original name. Number 3, my dad have a job so we can buy food. Number 1 and number 3 are food related. Number 4, Minecraft. And I think he thought number 4 was so awesome, he didn't even do number 5. He just dropped the mic and walked out. Now, the reason I give this homework, I'll go ahead and kind of give it to you mentally right now. Real quick, I want you to think of 5 things that you love. As a matter of fact, imagine I didn't give you 5. Imagine if I gave you 10. Imagine if I gave you 100. How long would it take you to place down on the piece of paper, myself? Because I think we can all understand and agree that a foundation, a very primal foundation of happiness is self-worth and loving ourselves. Here's another image that I usually put on the screen, and I ask people to name what they see. Kids name all kinds of things. I see a black dot. Some people say, I see the top of someone's head, or I see a pupil on someone's eye. Or if they're really creative, they might say, oh, it's a hole where maybe a rabbit or some type of animal hides in. You know, one kid one time said, I see a polar bear's butthole. So we'll talk about this image more later. But what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick on my PC girl, okay? Now don't worry about it. You're like, oh my God, why are you picking me? What I want you to do is the entire talk, do not think of a polar bear's butthole. You're thinking about it right now. I can see your face. You're gross. Cut it out. Stop thinking about it. So we'll talk about this image a little more later. Now, here we go.
What do you think about right now? Nasty, girl.
There's a couple of reasons why I brought this up. The first off is, whenever I tell anyone, everybody in this room, do not, under any circumstance, think about a polar bear's butthole. That's exactly what you're going to think about. Because it's impossible for our brains not to entertain a thought that's already in. Especially the more you try to not think about it. Okay? Keep that in mind whenever, like, I was at Starbucks this morning. It was 6 in the morning. And somebody's like, man, my day sucks. At 6 in the morning, bro? How many of you guys, when you wake up, and somebody asks you, how did you sleep that last night? The first answer is not enough. All of us. All of us has done it at least once. That means the first thing you started your day with was how you don't have enough. And then what kind of day are you thinking you're going to build from that? The second reason that I brought this, besides putting dirty thoughts in our mind, remember that little child that said polar bear's butthole? Believe it or not, he was probably the closest to being right. Because she's like, no, what's going on here? All kinds of plot twists. The reason that he was the closest to being right is because everybody notices the black dot, but almost no one notices the white page. And that's exactly how our lives are. I was in an accident. They told me that I would never be able to do comedy, that I would never get a standing ovation again. No pressure. I gave the doctor a standing ovation for my tallest finger. Don't make me show you which one. I could have easily looked at that black dot. I could have easily looked at that and instead not seen that I had two beautiful children who are straight A students, who are amazing, a wife that goes to almost every single show. That's very, very important. It's called, as she mentioned earlier, perspective. Why is it important? Okay. The hardest part of the accident wasn't the accident. I recovered super quickly. The brain damage, I have memory issues, I have all kinds of techniques to try to learn around it. That was also hard, but still wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part of that was about a year into it, when I was doing rehabilitation for my brain, I started remembering memories I didn't know I had. Horrible memories that I wish I didn't have. And when they first started popping up, I was like, nah, I saw this maybe in a movie and I blended it with my memories. I'm making this up. But it turns out that I had 32 memories of the most extreme child abuse you could imagine. I'm not going to get really, really dark on you, but just to give you one, my grandma lit my leg on fire on one occasion. I didn't know how I was going to live with that. I didn't know how I was going to serve. If you have any idea, being depressed is just like drowning. With the exception that you can see everyone else breathing just fine. And they're telling you, just breathe. What's your problem? Get over it. We don't realize what we sometimes do to our fellow man and woman. When we tell someone to just get over something, we're minimizing what they do or say. And we do it all the time. I'm not going to get into all kinds of crazy debates, but the Black Lives Matter, the All Lives Matter, guys, listen, everybody's right. You can't be all-inclusive in one and then in the other be like, get over it. No. We're brothers and sisters. We need to treat each other with love and compassion because we all have a battle that we're going through. And we're all way stronger than we could ever imagine. There's a reason why we reign over this planet. We reign over it so that our dream can come true. A dream where we're all looking at each other, not based on their sexuality or the skin or their sex. Just the fact that you're human and I'm human too, and you're able to suffer and you're able to mess up too. Just like me, I mess up all the time. I realized that black dot taught me that what happened to me and my kid as I was a kid was something that I should embrace so that I can teach other people how to get over it and still be happy regardless of outside circumstances, because that's what we're meant to do, and I will never stop until I achieve that, because I am determined to teach everybody to never give up on their hopes and dreams or being happy. Thank you guys so much for your time.